Don't be like, sit here.
That's
Like,
not the vibe. No, don't act like you're in a movie.
Oh, okay.
This isn't, I don't know what kind of theater you do. All right, y'all. We're going to work through our camp setup a couple different ways. This is our first camp of the year, Mid-America Freedom Rally in Missouri here next weekend. So we're going to make sure everything fits still, including this one.
I do have a lot of stuff.
So to start out with, we generally keep like 90% of the camp stuff in these two bins right here. As you can tell, shelter, sleep, and kitchen and tools. Sarah has a Cricut, so of course everything's labeled. That's how it goes around this house. Now, when we camp with the truck, whether the motorcycle's trailered or not, we honestly just throw those two bins along with a couple of coolers in the bed of the truck, and we're good to go. We don't have to sort through anything. We know all of our kitchen, all of our sleep, everything is in these two bins. But when we're just doing motorcycle two-up, we have to pick and choose what goes. And since this is the first camp of the year, we have to make sure that everything still fits how we expect it to fit, including her. Never know if she's going to fit. We hope she will, because, you know, it's a little bit boring when she doesn't get to come because there's just too much stuff.
Rude. Hey, are you helping? There's not room for you.
We got other assistants here, obviously. Unfortunately, they don't get to go camping because they're terrible. And that's just pretty much it. All right, sweetie, you want to pop open the sleep shelter one here? So, out of the gate, you can tell pretty familiar stuff here. A couple of chairs, a couple of sleeping pads, sleeping bags, pillows, and then the world's largest tent, not just for motorcycle camping in general. All right, so as you can see, we've got all of the sleep and shelter stuff out on the table here. This is the Lone Rider Moto tent. I may at some point do a full review of that, pluses and minuses. We used it all last year. It's a pretty good tent. It just weighs 15 pounds, and as you can tell, is probably significantly bigger than most tents you see on the back of motorcycles. Next, we have our sleeping bags. Sarah is cold natured, so that's why hers is twice the size of mine. Little snug pack here. A couple inflatable pillows. We're still trying to figure out the pillow situation, honestly. You know, they're great for being small. They're not great for being pillows, so see how that goes. And we've got a couple of sleeping pads, air up sleeping pads. So normally when it's just us two up on the motorcycle with no truck or trailer, we don't take any cooking supplies. It's not super feasible when you've got two people, their clothes, their toiletries, and enough sleeping gear for both to be comfortable. And where we're going, I mean, we're talking bike rallies, sort of bike camping sort of stuff that's in areas where we know we're going to have food or access to drinks and everything like that. And a lot of times we'll have friends with vehicles that we can go make like a grocery or a beer run, as it were. So we'll get the other stuff out on the table and get back with you. All right, so we are in the kitchen and tools tub here. I'll kind of walk through everything, but then we'll show you what we actually take when we're going two up on motorcycles with no truck or trailer. So we got a pile of rock straps here. Pretty much take the three sets of these everywhere we go. There are three different sizes here. You never know when you're going to need to strap something on the back of the bike, or whenever you're going to need to strap something at camp. So they're good general purpose, awesome straps. I'm sure anybody who regularly does motorcycle stuff is pretty aware of rock straps and how great they are. My lovely assistant taking those over to our table pile here. And then this is another one. So this is an Ice Mule. You hold it. This is an Ice Mule soft cooler. So it's like a roll top, kind of like a dry bag with insulation. And as you can see, it works like a sling bag, but it's also great because the size of it, once it's full of ice and drinks, you can actually strap it with the rock straps to the luggage rack on the back of the bike. So whenever you're going around camp, you know, usually there's a pavilion or kind of like a main stage area or where folks are hanging out, and it's usually, you know, a few hundred yards or whatever from your camp spot. So that way you can take a pile of drinks with you and not have to keep going back to your camp or whatever. Next, we've got just some towels, clean towels, which we aren't taking those because we're not taking kitchen stuff, but that's for cleanup when we actually do take the kitchen stuff. We've got some extra fuel bottles in there. I won't pull those out. We use an Everest stove, 2-burner stove, when we plan to cook while we're at camp. This bag just has kind of like the paracord, trash bags, zip bags, duct tape, just the random stuff you might need. It pretty much goes with us everywhere. Some paper plates and napkins, a pan, pretty normal stuff. We've got our towels, so we will take those. These are just like fairly small, but okay for camp shower towels that we always take with us.
Mine is purple.
Hers is always purple. But they're small, they're easy to pack, and depending on where we are, may or may not have access to towels. This little bag right here, open that up for me. So that one that's the inflator for our
Air pads.
Sleeping pads.
Sleeping pads.
For our sleeping pads. And I know some people think that's kind of an unnecessary luxury, but honestly, when you've been on a bike all day, it's 90 degrees outside, you're ready to just get to camp, get set up, and then go relax. Not blowing in a couple of sleeping pads for 15 minutes is a lifesaver a lot of times. And that's just an extra portable battery that has some solar on it. So, of course, we take a couple of them already, just kind of in our other luggage. But that's just sort of a backup because when you got to take camera gear and you're taking phones and you're taking lights and everything like that, it's nice. And then next, these are little rechargeable LED lanterns. I don't remember. I want to say it may have been the YouTuber Last Line of Defense may have turned me on to these. So I think they're something like 25 bucks a piece. They have a solar element on the top of them, but then they're also just USB rechargeable. And you can turn them on and they go all sorts of colors, right? They're LEDs, so you can do whatever. It's kind of nice when you're at camp and kind of everybody has lights on their tents, and tents are kind of crammed together. It's not like there's rows, you're just kind of out in the field. You can set yours to a color that somebody's not. So then from, the pavilion or whatever, after you had a few drinks, you can pretty easily tell which one is your tent. And Mauser likes them too so much that Sarah dropped him on him. But next, we've got a little USB fan in here. We will, depending on the weather.
That thing is a lifesaver.
We sleep like a sound machine with a fan on every night, regardless of temperature or whatever. And so this thing takes hardly any power. We hang it from the door of the tent, and it provides a little bit of airflow and a little bit of sound. If you guys have ever been to camping rallies, you know that folks tend to stay up late. There's a lot of noise, everything like that. So it's just kind of some ambient noise. And you don't have to leave your phone on a white noise machine all night. Next, this is sort of the rest of the cooking stuff. We can get into it here. So, it's the rest of the camping stuff. Knives, and tongs, some collapsible cups, a couple of pans, coffee, stove, a little micro stove, and then some silverware, a little cleaning scraper, just all that, the little random doohickeys that you need for camp kitchen. And again, below that is an Everest two-burner stove, which I won't bust that out. It's kind of heavy and big. It's a nice stove, but obviously it's pretty large, as you can tell. But it's great for if you have the space to pack to cook at camp. I don't know what's in that, honestly. Koozies and some bug spray. And some soap.
Spray. Yep, hand sanitizer, soap.
All right, and then finally, like I said, I already covered the fuel bottles here. We've got this hatchet. So we will take this with us because depending on the ground surface, you got to have something to hammer in your stakes for your tent. And this is double duty, obviously as a hatchet and sort of a hammer on the back. So you got to take this, otherwise you're going to be hunting for a rock, and depending on where you are, you may not find one. So that's kind of everything out on the table, which, like I say, we would never really pack this up like this. If we're taking all this, we're going in the truck, and it's just staying in the bins and going in the bed of the truck. All right, so this is everything laid out on the table, plus the cooler over here, hanging off the side of this chair. We will most likely try to take most of this. What I have over here is an 80-liter Sea Line dry bag, and I have had this for, gosh, probably a decade, honestly. It's huge. It works really well. Keeps things dry, keeps dirt out of things, and it kind of compresses down as far as you need. So if you're only going by yourself, or if you're going just on a trip that you don't need all your gear, you can make it 40 liters, but it goes up to 80 liters. So we're going to start packing that down and making sure that all this fits. And then if it doesn't all fit, like I say, we're going to be with friends. We'll have supplies. So if there's things that we might need to get while we're there, we can do that and save some space.
Mauser.
Yes.
Mauser would like to help with the packing here.
Personal effects like clothes and toiletries is what we'll save the saddlebags for. So we'll get all the camping stuff put in here. And then see, we've got a little bit of space left, like I say. And so, obviously not packing this down. We're not leaving for a week. We just want to make sure that everything that we want to take will fit in here. And then we'll pack our clothes up. We'll pack our toiletries up. See how well those fit in the saddlebags. If we need a little bit of extra space, you know, say, well, why not take an extra pair of shorts or a couple of extra t-shirts or whatever. Then we can just throw those on the top of this and save a little bit of space in the saddlebags. Because, I mean, it's a couple 100 miles, so you do want to be able to have your like hat, your gloves, camera stuff, etc. in the saddlebags as well. All right, that's going to do it for this video. Just a quick little overview of our camp setup when we are riding 2 up on the bike and taking everything with us that we can. Again, this will be the first time of 2024 that we're going to camp. So it's been a little while since we've done just bike without the trailer, truck, or anything. So it'll be a fun experience again for sure.
Yeah, we'll show you what it looks like on the bike when we pack up for this weekend, and then we'll show you a little bit about what our actual setup looks like when we're at the Mid-American Freedom Rally this Friday through Monday for Memorial Day weekend up in Missouri.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks.
Have a good Sunday. Have a good weekend. Have a good everything. Talk to y'all later.